Young, we've now seen how the effects of the old gods can affect cards that we remember from other Hearthstone expansions. But I've always wondered what it would be like to unleash the power of an old god itself. And in Whispers of the Old Gods, there are 4 old gods. In each of them is a legendary minion in the set. The most insidious of those is the old god Thun. And Thun lives in an ancient temple. He sleeps beneath that temple. And while he's been sleeping, cultists and followers have been gathering around that old god, trying to wake the old god up and empower Thun so that Cthulhu's at maximum power when they unleash him upon Azeroth.
Yeah, these cultists are more than just slightly corrupted by the old gods. They're completely on the old god side. So when you play these cultist minions, they empower Cthulhu. They buff him in some way, regardless of whether Cthulhu's already on the battlefield, whether it's in your hand, or maybe even when it's in your deck. So let's take a look at one of these cultists.
Are you my master?
So the Beckoner of Evil, when you play her, as a battle cry, she immediately gives Cthulhu +2/+2, wherever it is. So let's say Cthulhu is in your deck. This tentacly portal will open up, and you'll see Cthulhu looking at you from beyond the portal. And you will see it getting stronger, getting 2 more attack and 2 more health. And it's not just you who can see this happening, it's also your opponent. So as you can imagine, as you play out your Cthulhu deck, both you and your opponent will see Cthulhu getting bigger and bigger. And so your opponent knows Cthulhu is coming.
Cthulhu's coming, yeah. And there are 16 cards in Whispers of the Old Gods that interact with Cthulhu in some way.
Let's take another look at one of these dangerous and sinister cultists.
Do you hear its call?
Don't be fooled by its adorable appearance. The Twilight Elder is a very dangerous minion. You play Twilight Elder for 3 mana. It's got 3 attack and 4 health. But what the card does is at the end of your turn, it gives Cthulhu +1/+1. So guaranteed when you play this card, Cthulhu's going to get bigger by +1/+1. But every turn you're able to keep this minion alive, Cthulhu's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So Cthulhu might not start out as the biggest minion in Hearthstone, but you can really easily see it getting completely out of control.
All right, let's take a look at the legendary minion Cthulhu itself. Spoilers!
Shocking.
My dreaming ends. Your nightmare begins.
So throughout the game, you'll see Cthulhu start out at 6/6, but get more and more empowered by the cultists. So it's not going to be unusual to see Cthulhu at 10/10, 14/14. During playtests, it wasn't out of the question for it to get as crazy as 20/20. And when you play Cthulhu, immediately, let's say it has 20 attack, it will fire off these 20 crazy-looking eyeball missiles at everything on the board, including your opponent's hero.
Yeah, it just goes. It just keeps going and going.
I think it's actually more like.
All right. Well, we can show you the video we almost showed you accidentally earlier. What you'll see is, well, we're going to play Beckoner of Evil. You'll see that portal open, and you'll see kind of the current status of the Cthulhu that's still in your deck. Then Cthulhu will be drawn, and it's all over from there, I think. Let's take a look.
Are you my master?
It's really intimidating.
Jimmy!
Oh, there's Cthulhu.
My dreaming ends.
So brutal. It's so brutal. I mean, usually when you play Cthulhu, when it's fully empowered, it's usually going to wipe out your opponent's entire board, and now your opponent has to deal with
a huge minion.
Giant, angry Cthulhu eyeball. So I love cards like Cthulhu because it really encourages you to build a deck around it. There's 16 different cards and Whispers of the Old Gods that interact with Cthulhu in different ways. And I really look forward to players figuring out what the best Cthulhu deck is.